name's Erik Hart. I'm an American fashion designer, creative, and artist. My work is really an interdisciplinary exercise in the production and creation of clothing, installation, art, sound, and it's all those things that come together and things that inspire me to make the collection Factory by Erik Hart. Factory by Erik Hart, yeah, that's my newest label. It's a concept collection, and I've been doing this probably for almost 8 years now. Yeah. It's based on the idea of seasonless fashion, the idea of trying to abolish the idea of seasons in general. I think it's a general antiquated notion because people dress seasonless, they travel constantly, so everything we build can be layered, taken apart, and worn. Items from fall or winter can be worn in summer or spring, and we stick to basically a staple of fabrics, I'd say. And then each season we introduce about 4 to 5 new novelty things on top of that. Well, I don't have a formal fashion background in music art. I'm self-trained in all those things. So the things that I used to think more in the sense of sound, and then I'd translate those things into images, but now I think more in visual and translate those things into collections. The way that shapes influence the body and the dialogue between personal space and public space. So for example, one of our fall collections, I traveled to London. My girlfriend's a conceptual artist. We worked on a project for ID magazine, and we shot editorials in East London, and then went to Berlin and shot at the KW Berlin and saw this exhibition by Absalon. So we kind of, I'd say, juxtaposed those two things and created this whole story and editorial out of it, and that concept between the work of Absalon and my work, drew parallels between those two things. And that came up with the idea of, I'd say, the idea of creating languid and fluid silhouettes through the restriction of geometry, and that kind of plays a big role in the things I think we create here.
Give her a moment, give her a day.
I don't really consider myself an LA designer per se. I mean, this is where I'm based right now, but my collections are carried actually primarily internationally on the East Coast, more so than West Coast accounts. I feel that I can do pretty much what I do anywhere in the world. As far as a measure of success, I don't really focus on that for the most part. This is an exercise in art and commerce, so my success is to be able to, I measure that as, I guess, being able to constantly create things of integrity and beauty, and being able to sustain myself and have a constant creative output, and the commerce element and the funds that come into that drive other creative projects. The thing which I'd say attracts people at first is the way people present themselves, and it causes people to want to dig deeper. So people that understand that and communicate through that, that's kind of my ideal person, but it really translates across different ages and different people's styles. I'm Erik Hart, and you're watching WARP TV.